Okay, so things that I noticed, just like a quick check right before I hopped on. Haley, where are you, Haley? She is going to be Emerald on Thursday. She's going to be recognized, which is amazing. And Erica Shaw, she's not here because she's on a camping trip, but she is going to be Emerald on Thursday. Plus, she hit Success Starter 3 months in a row, Success Club, her first 3 months. So that's amazing. And when I announce it, I want you to love the crap out of her because it's a huge deal and she's been kicking butt, and I'm really proud of her. Hannah Stemple and Aaron Ross, you may not know them because they're brand new, but both of them are on the board for Success Club, and they literally signed up to be coaches in July. So that's a huge thing. And then I made note of Tiffany and Lauren and Morgan and Meg. Raise your hands if I just said your name. Tiffany, Lauren, Morgan, Meg. If that's you, I've just noticed that you're super close to diamond. Like, you could be diamond by Thursday if something happened, like real quick. They all have super close. Stephanie, I think she's pretty close too, actually, if I remember right. But a lot of really cool things are happening. And whenever we go to things like Summit, I feel like momentum builds because people see that we're not doing it alone. And I'm just really proud of all the hard work that's been going on. So if anybody else has a celebration or something they want to share, go for it.
Two of my coaches. Oh, sorry.
Wait, sorry. I was just going to say I should also be Emerald on Thursday. Go ahead, Tiff.
Yes, Casey is Emerald. Woo!
Hey, Casey.
Two of my coaches, which I don't think they're on here, it's Katie Thorson and Ashley Yeager. Both just hit Emerald like last week, putting me like that close, like so close to Diamond. So
that's
excited.
The hardest part about being diamond is making sure that your emeralds are emerald and they stay. So that's a humongous deal. And I told Tiffany it will be the coolest thing ever if she hits diamond on the week that she gets her diamond. Like, what? That would be so, so crazy. So I'm pulling for her. Like, I'm annoying the crap out of her because I'm like, I'm so excited for this to happen. So just know when you get close to diamond, I'm going to be like all up in your business. Just expect it. So
I have to shout out my coach, Christine. She went to Summit, came back, and signed up her mom as a discount coach on one of her legs. So she's halfway to Emerald already, which is super exciting. And she's here, which is
nice.
Battle. So woohoo!
Christine, that's exciting.
And to like add to that, so my mom, I'd been trying to convince her to just be a discount coach, and I'm like, I'll run everything, like we'll just switch on like buying products. And she was very against it. And I came back from Summit and they picked me up from the airport and she's like, okay, I watched your stories and like I have to do something. So not only is she a discount coach, but I got her like onto Be Mindset. And so I've been like talking with her like the whole thing through it. So
proud of you. That's major impact. That's amazing. So great job. I have chills actually. I don't know if I'm freezing or if like this is just that exciting to me. Probably both. So I don't want to be here all night long. Actually, I do, but you probably don't. I don't have anything better to do with my life right now. But I'm sure you all have things to get to. So each of us that went to Summit are going to take like 3 to 5 minutes. That might even be pushing it. If you are long-winded like me, set yourself a timer. Give yourself 0 to 5 minutes to get out what you need to get out. We have so many takeaways, guys. So I'm just going to throw it. I'm going to just start. Tiffany, I'm going to have you start because you're in my top left corner. If you have a notepad, take notes. There's going to be some amazing stuff. And then once we get through everybody, I will finish it off. I probably won't have a lot to say because they're going to cover most of it. So Tiffany, take it away.
Okay, I am notorious for doing on accident like hour-and-a-half long calls with people. So timer is set. I will try to keep it as brief as possible. I think that the biggest things for me about Summit was the income versus the impact. Because you should not be focused on the income because the income will come if you are truly 100% people focused on the impact. And so many of the coaches really talked about that. And then seeing all of the Beachbody Challenge winners or like even like participants up there and like hearing their stories, it's like, that's what this is about, is like the emotional why. And so for me, I finally like brought from my subconscious my emotional why. And I think we all have that. It's just a matter of like being patient with ourselves and figuring out like why all of this is so important to us, because obviously we all wouldn't be here if it wasn't important to us, like for real important to us. And then the other thing was that 90% of all of the super successful coaches have been doing it for multiple years. So with that, my big takeaway was that you have to persevere and be persistent. Like, you cannot just give up when the going gets rough. Like, we all have the resources in front of us to be successful, and we just have to use it and do it and push through the struggle, because all of the coaches, no matter number 1 or number 50,000, we all have struggles. So you just have to persevere and persist and have an emotional why, because that's what's going to get people to be with you. You want to impact their lives, not just have them for income. Okay, I'm done.
Nice. I love that. Morgan?
Oh man, so many things. It's really hard to pick just a few. I would say community is always a huge thing. Just being able to see our people in person, it just makes it feel a lot more real, because we do a lot of things like this. We are always talking to our Instagram. We're always, doing all that thing, and the community's there, but there's nothing like live events, whether it is Summit, which everyone, you need to sign up for next year. It's going to be incredible. It's just a game changer for your business, and it is a business investment, and it's the best investment for your business, and you get to bond with all the people there like no other. Or Super Saturday or Super Weekend is this weekend. Grab somebody from your town and go. They're so much fun. I've loved every single live event I've gone to, whether it's a retreat, whether it's Summit or Super Weekend. They're always super impactful for your business, just to know you're not alone, because you're going to go there and there's going to be a lot of other coaches from the area. You get to work out with them, and there's just something about being energized from the people around you. And then you can take that momentum and share it with your people who are following your journey. And then they can feel that excitement. People can feel your positivity. People can feel your excitement. So I think that's right now why Morning Meltdown 100 is doing well. I feel like in my business, my challengers have felt my excitement for this, because a lot of them, my Success Club points, have been people who have fallen off and have re-signed up and recommitted with Morning Meltdown. And I only need 2 emeralds to be diamond. So I feel like all of this it's just business changing. Like, just going to these events is one thing, just in general. The other thing, oh gosh, what was my other thing? Oh goodness gracious, I got on a bunny trail. I would say storytelling with our Instagrams. I feel like you follow a lot of us on Instagram, a lot of our stories, our posts have been a lot better than they were before. They're not as coachy. They're not as, like, when you look at our feeds, hopefully moving forward, it's not like you automatically see it without even reading a caption and be like, oh, that's a coach. One thing that I think it was Emily Favre and Ashley Molstead said, 2 of the top people in the company, the top person in like top 5 or something, mentioned about how your coach posts or your like posts should be only 20% about fitness and health and fitness. The rest should be about your life, about your different pillars that we talk about. So I think that was huge, because I know I caught myself talking a lot about, I'm like, okay, what am I going to post about today? Oh, here's a selfie in the same exact spot in my workout outfit that we all are guilty of, So I think that was a game changer for me, just thinking about different posts, like what is relatable to my audience? What do people want to hear? That was really relatable. And then also kind of what Tiffany said about it takes years. It takes years, but at the same time, theirs exploded. A lot of them, like, they weren't in the top 25 a year ago. Like, if you put in the work, then you're going to see success. And yeah, it took how many, like 2-3 years, but that's not that long of a time. I truly believe that Paige could be a 15-star diamond next year we go to Summit, because we have that much fire on our team. And I know her goal, I think, is 10-star, but like, my goal for her is higher than that. So, I truly believe that we can do that. We have so many people who are on fire, who are close to diamond, and we're just going to like take off. So I think that's just another way of looking at it, is like, yes, it takes a long time, but Paige has been building this for over 2 years. But now all it takes is like just 1 second of everyone catching at the same time, and you can jump to the top. So success is not as far off as we think, is I guess what my takeaway was. Like, we think it's like, oh my gosh, they're way up there, but they're not. Happy, Healthy, Humble, what was it, a year and a half ago? same spot we are. So that was like, oh man, that's a really good realization for me, I guess.
Thank you, Morgan. Love it. Chelsea.
Well, Morgan took a lot of mine, but I think I can still build on some. Okay, yeah. So community was everything. I loved meeting all the girls on our team. I mean, like Kate's on here, and we stayed in a sketchy Airbnb, and we loved every minute of it. So lots of fun stories and stories to come in the future. I think my biggest takeaway, so I had kind of fallen off with my IVF journey. I hadn't been able to work out for a while. So I'm like starting back over from like square one and just learning how to be like my own storyteller, kind of like what Morgan said. I'm so much more than just a coach. And I've been posting just about like the food I eat or the workouts I do. And so now I just realized that I can just be myself and people will still like me. I don't have to like fit into what they want me to be. And that was just like mind-blowing for me to realize. So that's been really big. And just like how to share my story. So they told us to do like the 5 pillars, which I highly recommend, just listing things that are you, like that have nothing to do with fitness and health, and just making like a T-chart, life before Beachbody in those 5 categories and life with Beachbody in those 5 categories. Like where have you changed? Where have you grown? What's still the same and where can you be better at? And just like sharing those things with the people that follow you. And I think like the biggest thing is like you attract you. So you don't have to, like my followers don't have to be like Paige. No offense, Paige, but I don't like your Starbucks. And that's okay. Like I relate with Paige on so many other levels that we don't have to be the same person. And I think that was like my biggest takeaway. Like I look at Paige and I look at Meg and I look at the Courtneys for post inspirations. And then I'm like stuck because like I'm not living their life. Like I'm not them. So I need to just like figure out who I am. And so that was my biggest takeaway. I'm done.
That's so good. And that transforms a business. So I'm so glad that's what you took out of it. Meg.
Okay, so I'm going to not rant because I am long-winded, but going into this, I've gone through like a business rebrand from being a very like teacher-centered, focused kind of thing to this taking care of kind of transition. So going into this, I was super skeptical. I was like, all right, like maybe I'll enjoy this. Maybe I'll like, it can't really be that great that everybody else makes it out to be. Like it really can't be that good, can it? And so it's kind of been me and Steph, like just kind of doing our own thing on our end. And without her, I probably would have quit a long time ago. And just because I haven't found that community feel, I haven't found that support that I've really, really wanted, like I've yearned for. I've, worked really hard on myself this last year. I worked really hard on like my mental health and everything else. But that piece of community was really missing. And so I went into Summit really, really skeptical. Like, I don't know if this is really going to work. I don't know if this is really going to be all that it's cracked up to be. And I have to say, like, came out, my butt is on fire, not because of the tanning bed, but because of like all of the other amazingness that I had to. But just because of all of meeting all of you in real life and watching us like seriously fight through the 2-hour workout in the street, or like hoard off people that were like trying to like take our spot, like that kind of thing. Like I've looked for that for so long, and I finally found it at Summit, and it's right here. It's like right here on the other side of my screen. And so that's been like, I have goosebumps, but that's been the thing that's been missing from my journey, and that's what I have found. And so I can honestly say that I went from being a huge skeptic on all of this to completely believing in everything, and it all comes from community. Like the biggest piece, the piece that settled this all for me, the last piece of my puzzle that I really needed was all of you. And I don't think I would have, we totally fought those people for those spots. That lady was so nasty. I about brought out my teacher voice and my finger, and I was like, it is 5 a.m. and I don't have the energy to do this, and I have not had coffee. Like, this is not going to happen. But it truly was. And like I have all of those memories with all of you and so many more to come, let's be honest. So that was my biggest takeaway was I really wasn't sure that this was where I was supposed to be. I wasn't sure that this was meant for me. And then I found all of you and it's been amazing. And Steph, I've loved you from the beginning. So don't feel left out, but I would have quit a long time ago had it not been for her. So that's it.
It's crazy. It's just like seriously chills while you talk. Christine.
So I think for me too, just having the community, because a lot of times seeing everybody on here, like there was a lot of people that I met at Summit that like I didn't even know were like a part of our team. And now I can like look back on our memories and like, oh, that person's like really cool, and just having all those great memories. And then I feel like for me personally, like I've always been someone who's like struggled like with confidence just in general. But I feel like going to Summit, like I came back and I was like messaging people in my family like, hey, I'm doing this 100-day program and I know you've been talking about like working out. Do you want to do this with me? And I have a lot of them that have told me flat out no, but I have some that are like, maybe send me the sample. And I like was so like hesitant to do that, especially to like my family members, because I'm like, they're gonna like think I'm just trying to get like money from them and not like, hey, let's do this together, and doing it more through that, like we're just all trying to get healthier together. So
I love it. Steph.
Hi. Okay, so I have some notes here. A lot of it's going to be a repeat because I'm pretty sure everybody that has went has agreed about the community, but I'd like to say thank you to Paige for kind of adopting Meg and I, because before this, we didn't really have that. We had ourselves. Like we would work with each other, like Meg was saying, and we didn't have all these other people. And I know once we got to meet up and we had dinner and we got to go hang out, especially Chelsea, I know talking to her, like I loved meeting everybody. And I didn't expect to have that when I signed up as a coach. I didn't know what to expect when I signed up as a coach. I was just like, yeah, this looks fun. Let's do this. So that has been a pleasant surprise. And I think, like Meg said, like I didn't know, not necessarily that this wasn't for me, but I just wasn't like sure about stuff. And Paige, I remember, I think it was last summer or toward the end of it, you were saying like, I didn't believe in the company until I went there. And now I'm in the same boat. I was like, this is amazing. And going on like the impact, hearing the stories of not only like the clients that like their lives have been changed, but also the coaches, with some of them starting like rock bottom and to like where they are today. It has been amazing stories. And just to have this business opportunity being like $40 and you can grow like an empire is amazing. Somebody else said like hard work, or it's not hard work to do, but it takes hard work in that you have to be consistent. You have to show up even on the days that you don't want to. And as long as you do that, and as long as you show up as yourself, you will be successful. And it's going to be tough. And I forget if I think it was Rachel Hollis is like, you're in the valley. Like you have to be in the valley before you can climb that mountain. And I was talking to Meg not too long ago and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, this is your valley. I was like, hell yeah, girl, this is my valley. Let's go. And so having this community has been absolutely life-changing. But I would say that would be my tops. I really enjoyed it. And if you get, like everybody else said, if you guys have not signed up for Summit next year, you need to go.
Thank you. That is so exciting. I love hearing from you guys. Caitlin.
Okay, so first of all, I'm loving, can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm outside. Loving what everybody is saying. It's making me relive everything and I'm kind of getting chills. I would say, obviously one of my favorite things was meeting everybody. It was just so cool. I don't think that this was kind of one of my takeaways. I would say my biggest one that I've just still been thinking about is that I don't ever think that I let myself dream of like where this could take me. Like I've always been told you can totally get to Emerald, of course. You can totally get to Diamond. And I never really thought that I would. Like, I don't know. I just thought I was going to have fun with it and see how long it went. And like just Summit and this past week, I've just been like, what if? Like, what if I did get there? Why couldn't I? And I've never asked those questions before. So I think that was just like, I mean, there were so many, and basically second everything that you guys said, but that was probably my biggest one that I'm still thinking about.
I love that. You cannot help but to like dream bigger and make bigger goals when you see girls that have gone before you, and especially when you realize, like, when you get to Summit, you're like, they're all normal people. Like there's no reason that I can't achieve the same things. So that's huge. Meredith.
Sorry if you witnessed me eating my corn and pork steak. I just got home. So I had two main takeaways, and one is kind of what people have already mentioned, but it just really kind of like hit me hard that the people that are at the top were once where I'm at right now. And I guess that I just like forget that, because I beat myself up when, you know, I lose a coach, or when I have a challenger that stops checking in, and it just like, it really hits me hard. But these people that are 15-star diamonds have been there and have lost coaches and whatnot. And so just because I'm not seeing like large amounts of success right now doesn't mean that I ever will. And it took them 7 and 8 years to get there, and I haven't even been doing this for hardly 6 months. So there's no reason why I should feel like I should be further along than I am. That's just kind of my personality. And if you feel that way, it's easy to get like super discouraged and just feel like maybe I'm not good at this, and have all of these like limiting beliefs just because you're not seeing instant success. So I still struggle with it. Like today, I'm not having the best mental day when it comes to this business. But I mean, like I said, the top people were where I was at one point, and we're also having the same thoughts and the same lack of success that I'm having. So we just have to keep pushing forward, like Steph said, and get out of the valley. And, you know, it'll come our time to get over the top, and things will be not really easier, because I feel like the higher up you get, the harder you do have to work. So that was another big takeaway. I guess I thought that these top coaches don't actually have to put in a whole lot of work, and they really do, which kind of leads me into my next point, that I realized that if I really want this, I'm going to have to work for it. The times of showing my transformation picture and having people knock on my door are coming to an end. And so I'm going to have to kick my butt into gear and get over my fear of messaging people and trying to engage with other people, and just do it, because someone out there is waiting on me to ask them to join me. And a lot of people have seen my transformation, and a lot of people have not reached out to me. They're waiting on me to reach out to them. So I just think that's a big one. You know, I've lost 25 pounds, which is huge, but I'm not going to lose 25 more in as fast of time. So I'm not going to keep having these insane transformations to share. So it's time for me to go knocking on other people's door, because the day of them coming to mine is coming to an end. So those are my big ones.
That's big too, because a lot of people that are watching you are just waiting for the invite. Like they're so interested, and they would be thrilled to get a message from you. So that's a really great takeaway. Courtney.
Okay, my biggest takeaway was definitely like the mindset of the comparison game, because like I just compared myself to literally like our own team, and then just getting to Summit and seeing that there's like all sorts of kinds of people there. Like it's not like cookie cutter. It doesn't look like our team. It doesn't, I mean, there was like a team where all their hair was like different colors. Like that was just something that they all had in common. And they kept talking about like stop finding people that you want to have on your team, but start being you, because you'll attract yourself. And those are the people that you really want, and stop kind of putting this, I want this type of person or this kind of thing, and that it will just kind of happen naturally as you're just sharing life. And like when it comes to comparison of just like, well, I don't really want to share that post because that might be too vulnerable for me, or someone might think it's weird or silly, or that I'm looking for attention. And really that post that might feel like you're looking for attention might be the exact post that somebody else is thinking and thinks that they're all alone with feeling. And so just being bold and not sharing a highlight reel, but just sharing like a reel, like your movie, your story, your life, and then people will come to it. Like I've been really weird, and I don't really know why to share about PCOS because I don't feel like I know everything about it. And I shared one post about it when we got back from Summit and had so many comments of people telling me their story in a comment, and that blew my mind. I was like, okay, well, I don't know anything about it, and I guess they don't either. So like we can talk about not knowing it together. And that was just like a cool experience that we have talked about. Like Summit lit a fire under my butt of just being bold in who I am and owning who I am, but also trying to figure out who I am. Like Chelsea had talked about adding things like what was life like before Beachbody? What's it like during Beachbody? What would it look like if there was no Beachbody? Like what would that look like? And like Rachel Hollis, I think it was her, she kept saying, like, she has no effect on you. Like, the girl that tells you no, she has no effect on you. She's not paying your bills. She's not helping you. Like, don't stress about her because she might give you a second thought, but you don't need to give her a second thought until she reaches out to you or you guys talk again. Like, stop letting those people really crush your business and send you down a farther loop. And so the comparison game and just being vulnerable and just scared of what people think has really hindered me from, like, being me and doing my own thing. And I just think it needs to stop because somebody else feels the way I do for so many different things. And I have nothing to be embarrassed about who I am. So that was my biggest thing.
So good. Again, I can't remember who else was talking. I think it was Chelsea, like you said. Whenever you grasp that, I think it seriously changes your business. Like it really does. So I love that was your takeaway. Casey.
Okay, I am going to set a timer because I'm definitely going to talk in circles, especially because everyone said things that I feel are the same. Okay, so people have already said this, but I said this at Summit. My biggest takeaway is like the 5 pillars. So sorry, I'm breathing kind of hard because I'm also walking. 5 pillars, like being myself. So I started out before I did coaching. I was like trying to be like a blogger. Really, I just wanted to like write stuff out because I like writing. And then when I was coaching, I really got lost and in my social media, and I didn't know what to do because I felt like I needed to do both blogging and coaching, but then I wasn't doing enough of either. And then I switched over to like fully coaching, but really all my posts were just boring and they were just me in a sports bra, and no one cares about that, like literally. So, I mean, they care, but like not really. Especially when they see it 17 times. It's when they see it once out of every 5 that they're like, oh, cool, you know, and it stands out. So that's what I'm working on right now, like getting my mission. I finally like changed my bio to like actually like what am I working on? Like what women am I trying to attract? And who am I? And maybe like if someone goes to my page, they can like know that I like to watch movies and I like to do this, and not just that like I put a sports bra on and jump around in my apartment, you know, like so that's huge. But also, and I hope this makes sense, I've been thinking about this a lot lately and I don't know if I'm going to word it right, but because my mind just goes in circles. But basically, Paige always says like, I don't want to be a salesy person, which I don't think anybody wants to be. I don't know why anybody would want to be, and I definitely don't. And I always thought that like I'm going to go into this, and if somebody wants to do it, like cool, but like I'm gonna tell them like up front, like I was very like, oh, but like you don't have to do Shakeology because, you know, like don't freak out, like still buy it, like you're okay. Like I was very like, I don't know, I guess I was just like worried about the person that would say no because I'm being salesy, like wanted to sound so chill. But the difference is like I don't know the balance. I now feel like I'm learning it slowly and I'm going to perfect it, but like I didn't know it. Sorry, my friend's behind me. I didn't know it for a long time. And so like, I'm not, I guess, salesy because I'm not forcing it on people, but I'm also not presenting it. So like, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but basically like, I need to be able to get across my point to people so they know what I'm presenting. and then you don't have to be salesy. But instead, I was actually being more salesy because I wasn't putting my point across, and then I was thinking, oh shoot, I gotta hit Success Club so I can do this thing. So at the end of the month, I was just like throwing things at people, and they were like, excuse me, like I haven't even reached out to you, and I'm over here like, hey, I know and it looks so much like a copy and pasted message that it's ridiculous, and I wouldn't want to get that message. So I'm basically self-destructing by doing what I don't want to do, if that makes sense. Like, so I made a whole circle now to be like, I need to present myself as myself and daily talk about it, not to the point where I'm just checking off a list like, oh cool, I said you're invited, oh cool, I put a poll, like whatever. It's about like, you know what's going on in my life, you know what I'm presenting. If you're interested, you'll reach out. Also, if I reach out in a chill way, you know where I'm coming from without me having to be like, I have this, hello, thank you for liking my you know, like, it's just funny to me to think about how the fact that I was like, I don't want to be salesy, but I'm like literally being the exact opposite of what I want to be because I don't know how to balance it. And honestly, I have no idea if any of that made any sense, but my point is just like, be yourself and present what you're saying in a real way, like a real human would. Like if you were doing any job, like if I was just telling you about the job I do 9 to 5 and you knew about it and you knew what I did and you knew like if you had any questions about social media at a news station, like you can ask me about it because that's what I do. Like, that's what you should do. And I feel like that's what was presented a lot about, like, be yourself, present what you're doing, like people will come to you slowly. And I think I'm back at the beginning stages of it, even though I'm almost on a year mark, because I haven't really done that consistently. And so I'm going to have to gain the trust back because I think I've thrown people off. And like, I don't think that means that they're away from me because they haven't unfollowed me. I think that just means that like they're like, maybe not for right now, and like leave me alone, I'm gonna ghost you. But like now that if I back off and actually seem approachable, that's the difference. Like if that makes sense. Honestly, sorry if that made no sense, but that's my thing.
No, you do make sense. And even if people don't think you made sense, it's obvious that something has changed in you and your wheels are turning and your business is changing because of it. So I think that's great. And I get what you mean about that. Like your why, you have to believe in your why so much that you forget about the goal cannot be Success Club. Otherwise people feel it. So totally get that. Have I missed anybody? Okay. So my takeaways, I have a couple. So the first thing that I just could not stop thinking about this year was that last year I went alone. Like I did not have one coach with me. And then this year, I think there were 12 of us. And I just kept thinking like, had I never said yes, how many people also wouldn't have said yes? You know what I mean? Like the trickle effect of what we do is insane. I know that every invite I ever send out or every conversation I ever have about a challenge pack, every time I ever promote for my groups or for coaching, like this is what it leads to. And it's really hard to be fearful about sending those things out when you know that major life change can happen and that like we can actually be a community of people who love each other and encourage each other and support each other forever. Like how weird that we're all sitting here virtually talking, living in different states, never would have known each other without coaching, all because I said yes. And then I had a conversation with at some point we had a conversation and I convinced you that my community was worth it. That is the impact that you get to have. Like it's insane. And next year at this time, you could just as easily be leading your own call with this many people plus more. Like it is insane how quickly your business can grow whenever you actually believe in your mission and your vision behind it. Like this is what I want. Like I want my life to be about supporting and loving women and helping them grow businesses. Like, and I have two missions. Like one is to help people with health and fitness and just help them get results and be the best versions of themselves. But my other mission is to help you grow a business and make an income that can change your family's life the way it's changed mine. Because my life has been completely changed 100% by the income from Beachbody. And I know that it can happen for you too. So that was a huge, just like, holy crap moment for me to see how big our team has grown and to think about next year how massive we can be going into Summit. Like we could take over that place. So that was one thing. Another thing that I really took away was how powerful our team could be. And I told the girls this at least once, but every single girl who showed up to Summit, I don't even have a doubt after meeting them in person and having conversations that every single one of them can be diamond by the end of the year. And I would venture to say all of you on this call could be diamond by the end of the year, and how that would make our team explode and how that would make your business grow. Like it's just mind blowing to me. So one of the biggest things that I came out with was belief in what we have, and belief in each and every one of the girls that went, and belief in their leadership ability and their ability to grow an income and the ability to make this massive income, or not income, that too, but this massive impact on the world. Like literally, I have so much belief in what we have in our team. And I took away a lot of things about how to support you better, because this is my first time doing this and I'm just doing the best I can. And I want to help you. Like I want you to meet your business goals. I really do. And the really cool thing about what we do is your impact, just like somebody said at the beginning, your income and your impact are the same. Like the more impact you have, the more income you make. And that's so cool. And that's something I did not get from teaching. So it like fires me up to think that the more impact I have, the more income I can make. And you guys have the same opportunity. So the biggest thing I came out with was we are going to rock and roll, and we are going to be elite by the end of the year, because we can do it and there's no reason that we don't. Like we are so close to being elite. There's just no reason we shouldn't. And then watching you girls grow your businesses, I can already tell you that is more satisfying to me and more rewarding to me than really any part. I love helping people get results, like physical results and getting healthy. But man, when I can watch you guys on your stories, like showing up for your workouts, being the healthiest versions of yourselves, and see the things that the income is doing for your families, like that is so rewarding. And I'm going to do my best to lead you well and teach you and mentor you to help you do the same thing I've done, because I've gone before you, just like Megan went before me. So you've got this amazing upline of people who have been walking this for a little while. And I know if you are coachable or teachable, however you want to say it, and you're consistent, that it can happen for you. Like there's no reason it can't. If it can happen for me, it can happen for anybody. I'm just this weird person who gets on social media and makes ugly faces. Like if I can do this, literally anybody can do this. So that was my biggest takeaway. And I'd say the last thing is the power of Summit, because I knew it changed me last year when I went, but I wasn't so sure it would change everybody else. And to see the posts that have been coming out since we left Summit every single time, like there have been so many posts that I've teared up. Tiffany's comes to mind first because I saw that and I was like, holy crap. If you've not seen Tiffany's post about like dear college me or something to that effect, it was like, holy crap, that's powerful. That's going to speak to a lot of people. And she put her heart out there. Like it was amazing. So Summit is a game changer. You've got to get there next year. And not only that, you've got to make it a goal, especially if you went this year, to bring a team with you, because to watch your team catch it is unlike anything else, because I knew that you guys didn't feel it yet. I knew it. Conversations I had, the discouragement that you would feel sometimes, I was like, if I can just get them there, just get them to Summit. I thought maybe, but I wasn't for sure. And now I'm for sure that every single person who wants to grow this business needs to go to Summit. Like it's just a non-negotiable. So does anybody have any final words or questions? Any of you that didn't go, do you have any questions? Tiffany, you have something?
I just want to thank you. Like, so you're talking about like you saying yes to this opportunity, like legit Summit was so amazing, and meeting some of the girls that I've talked to the longest, like Casey and Morgan and Lauren and Meredith, like we've been talking for over a year. So like having that all come to real life and be like, these aren't just my Instagram friends, like these are like real life friends, was just like the craziest thing in the whole world. And something that I used to, like, if you go back and read my posts, I used to be real judgy. So it's like, it's just like I used to judge people like that, and now I'm just like, you guys are like my real life friends, and it's just so crazy. And none of that would have ever happened if you hadn't joined and, you know, gotten all of us to say yes to. So
it's crazy. It is crazy when you think about it. And if any of you don't know, you're probably going to keep hearing me freak out about this because Tiffany and I are cousins. We are very close cousins. Actually, our parents are first cousins, and we never knew each other until this. So it's super weird and super crazy. And Summit was the first time we met in person. So it is insane.
And we grew up like less than an hour away from each other. And our parents were like best friends when they were growing up. So it's like, how we never met before?
Don't know. But it's fine because God brought us together through coaching. It's whatever.
I just want to say also I thought about it while you were talking, Paige. And also I'm zooming while driving, so sorry, don't try to zoom. I recently looked back at our first messages because I was talking to a girl about coaching and I wanted to like look back at how you responded to me. And like it's really weird because you get back in your mindset of like when you were messaging someone that you were interested in coaching and you're like, I said that weird. But like it's really interesting to me because the way that you sounded to me, like when I was reading it now from my perspective, it kind of seemed like you were like you were kind of okay, this is going to sound bad, but like it kind of sounded like you were like uninterested in having me as your coach, but not really. Like at the time I felt like, oh, she wants me, I'm just like waiting. But like really the point I'm trying to make is like you were so undesperate for it. Like, and like congratulations to that because I have a hard time not coming off that way. Like, I mean, you were just like, you told me what I wanted to hear. And like, I'd asked you a question and it's just funny getting back in my mindset because I reached out to you and then you replied to me and you answered my question and then waited like a day later. I was like, okay, actually, like answered. And all of it was replying to your stories. So like, you were just telling me stuff in your stories that I was like, oh, okay, cool. And that's when I was like, oh, you can make an income? LOL. And all this stuff that finally I was like, I even apologized in one of my messages. Like I was coming off desperate. Like I was like, oh, so sorry for being wishy-washy, which I'm sure you were like, whatever, like, come on. But thinking of like me now. But yeah, anyway, my point is that like, if you are just like who you are and like unapologetically you and like kind and like welcoming, then like people are going to want to join your team. Like I clearly wanted to. I was on someone else is my coach. And that person is a great person, but I just not connect with her on that level. And Paige followed me, I followed her back. And in like 5.5 seconds, I was like, wait, okay, this is interesting. Okay, wait. And like every story, like every other day, I was like, oh wait, this, like constantly replying, like, okay, wait. And then she finally was like, oh, I can just call you and talk to you about it. And I was so interested, like, yeah, let's do that. And then I became a coach. And I just think it's interesting going back in my mindset. Like that's what you need to do is go back in the mindset that you were at when you were interested in being a coach and see, yeah, seriously, but like, and see like what you were thinking, because I think that we so much try to get in the mindset we are now rather than the mindset we were in. And that's the mindset that they're in when they're messaging us, you know, like they're new to this, they're interested, but they're not trying to get like 5,000 words spit at them from a message you literally copied from your notes. And like I get that's so helpful, like I do that, but like it matters about like everyone's talking about the community and like that is number one. Like it's number one, and number two is like so huge, and that is so the reason that I did this and that I continue to do this. Like there's so many more reasons, but community is number one. And if you are showing that, like you're showing the true like community and like the team, and that Paige was doing that, and that's what made me want to be part of her team. Like I remember thinking like, oh yeah, I like my coach and like I really do kind of want to try this coaching thing, but I want to be on Paige's team. Like I know I'd relate to that team, and like spoiler alert, I do. So like I was like, I know that like this would be what I want to do and not be like on a team where like we're all different. Like, and even though everyone's different, I don't know, I'm talking circles again, but the point is that like get in the mindset of like who you were when you were interested in coaching and not who you are now as a coach a year in advance or 6 months or however far you are, and talk to people like that. Like we are all the same people in the end, really. Especially everyone's going to be wary. No one really is going to come on fire into your inbox like, sign me up tomorrow, like let's do it, give me 3 hours of Shakeology. Like no one's going to do that. And so like if you just like are super real with people and are like, yeah, like actually this is the biggest thing, because I've already been talking to people and it might take 3 months, the people I've been talking to recently, But I can already tell by just the responses of like, oh yeah, well actually I have seen like your posts, and that was really cool what you did, and really I'm just like missing people in my life. Like that is the point where instead of jumping in, like I feel like I would have been literally right before Summit and been like, oh hey, actually I have this team, and instead I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. Like I really like my community now. Like it's made the biggest difference in my life. Literally, that's all I have to say. And then they're like, oh, why? Like instead of like coming at them with 1,000 things.
So I think what you're talking about is the difference in the scarcity versus abundance mindset, because if you are terrified they're not going to get coaches, or you're terrified that you're not going to get Success Club, then you operate on a different level than thinking everybody wants to be. I truly like legitimately think every person that follows me actually wants to join me. They're just scared for some reason. Like I truly do think that. And I have never worried. I mean, when I very first started, I had a little bit of worry of like, am I going to hit Success Club? But very quickly, it was just like, no, I am going to hit Success Club. And if this girl doesn't want to join me, fine. Like, I don't care, because there are a whole bunch of other people who are sitting there ready to join me, waiting for my invite. So we have to stop operating from that place of like, oh my gosh, there are barely any people, or they're joining everybody else, but nobody wants to join me. You have to believe in the abundance mindset of like, if not her, somebody else. That is the truth. It like, look around when you go to the mall, when you go to a concert, like people need you. Like literally everywhere you go, you can look at people and know, you can tell in their eyes. Like you can tell if people don't have that life about them, that they need this, they need a change. So man, now I feel fired up. So
I would agree with you on that. Like, I feel like just Summit helped me realize with the mindset of the scarcity and abundance mindset, because I mean, I talked to you about a coach. I was like, this girl's going to be a coach. I was pumped. And then I was like, she ended up doing something else. I'm like, okay, whatever. Before I would have been like devastated, hung up on it for like a week. Oh my goodness. And I'm like, okay, like catch and release. Like if you think you have one, it's not big enough to keep, then release. Maybe you'll catch again. Maybe they'll come back someday. But I don't know. I think that helps a lot with Summit. It was just realizing that there's so many people to help and so many people that this business can impact their lives, to not get upset when someone says no. Because a lot of times they'll come back and say yes.
And if you think about it, most of us did not sign up the second we learned about it. Like it took me 2 months of thinking about it, because I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, is it really worth it? And Megan gave me time, and I thanked her. I so clearly remember, like, this has got to be a different kind of thing, because she's not coming after me, and she actually does not care about me. Like, in the best way. Like the same thing Casey was saying. Like, I knew that she'd be happy if I joined, but I knew she would be totally okay if I didn't. Like, I knew that because she wasn't bugging me. She followed up with me probably once a month, and I really appreciated that. And that's how I knew that I wanted to sign up, because she wasn't desperate for me. Had she acted desperate, I would have been gone so fast, because nobody's going to use me for whatever pyramid schemes use people for, So just believe that what you have is the answer for a lot of people's problems with coaching and just health in general, because it really is. And once you actually believe that, like for real to your core, then your business changes with it. And there was one more thing I wanted to mention. Somebody was saying, I think it was Tiffany, like finding your real reason and your story and all of that. I'm 2 years in, and I am just now uncovering parts of my story and things that I want to share, because I've given it time for me to actually know myself well enough. So like I've started posting to the small one recently, because I'm just learning that about me, that's a way that I've always felt. So if you've not seen that, you can check that out. But it is a process, and be patient and do your personal development, because that's whenever you learn your pain points, and that's when you learn what you should be sharing. So does anybody who did not go to Summit have questions or want to say anything at all?
I'll just say, and it kind of came up to me earlier in the conversation, but I have been technically a coach since November, and I really have been inconsistent. And I know I've always wanted to do the business, but there was just, that mindset of who am I and how, like all the doubts. So I'm a little bit I didn't really officially start the business until the end of January. So I'm a little 6 months in, and I feel like this last summer, I've done so much of that personal development of like just simplifying it and knowing that like the story thing. It's going to come, and that you don't have to just share about the health, and you can be yourself, but simplify it. Like if you don't know, like I would always get wrapped up on, oh my God, how should I take this picture for my feed? Like, oh my God, I didn't take a picture today. What am I going to do? And like your pictures can literally be so easy, so simple. Like you can take a selfie, you can take a picture in your house. And I just think when I took a step back this last month and simplified things, I'm now starting to see the progress because people are watching, and I don't make it like, I don't know. That used to always get to me earlier. I'd be like, I don't know how to take these pictures. No one's taking my picture, and I don't have a tripod, and I don't know what to do, and like my phone keeps falling off this base because the timer keeps, I just always would like get so worried about that. So simplifying it and knowing your story and posting anything that your heart wants to post at that time, even if it's simple, like even if it's of your family and you're like, I'm so thankful for my family. That's still a post and people are still watching. So that has really changed a lot for me in the last month.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. I love the fire under you right now. It's exciting to watch. And Christine, your dog is cracking me up because that's so Murph. Is he a golden doodle or she? Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, anybody else? Anybody have questions or anything to share?
I have something I want to say that is kind of like not Beachbody related, but Beachbody related. Summit also taught me something to like apply into my real life is like, for example, like getting involved in a new church alone right now is something that I'm so scared of. But I literally just traveled multiple states to meet people I met on Instagram. So like, why the heck am I afraid to go to church and get involved in something, or like step out of my comfort zone in like real life? But I'm willing to like meet people that I met on Instagram that could catfish me about anything. So like, it was just something I've like thought about. Like, I can't even talk to like my, I don't know, cousin and say I'm a Beachbody coach, but I can like talk to a stranger on Instagram that could be an old man about it. Like, why can't I do this? So that's something that I was just thinking about. It's kind of random and not Beachbody related, but I don't know.
Oh, it's totally related. Totally. I feel like doing this, when you get out of your comfort zone every single day, like virtually, it ends up transcending into your real life too. Like, not that the internet's not real life, but you know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
Well, I just want to say you've all lit a fire under my butt with my coaching paycheck this week, which is like a huge commitment for me because I'm not one of those people who like will spend money on something that is a whole year away, but I'm buying my Summit ticket because I made enough to do that this week. And so I'm going to do it, which is really scary for me because it's so far away and who the hell knows what's going to happen in a whole year. But I'm going to do it.
I'm so excited to meet you.
I am so committed.
That is so exciting. Also, while you're here, I think I've said this, but I feel like my stuff gets lost on our team page sometimes. The requirements to stay in the house for the retreat, but literally anybody can come. It's in Branson, Missouri. So even if you don't make the qualifications for the house and you want to come, you're 100% invited, first of all. But with the size of our team, as much as I love it, it's like really hard when it comes to getting together because 100 of us cannot fit in my house. You know what I mean? So there has to be some sort of requirement, but everybody is invited. The worst case scenario is you split a different Airbnb with people or a hotel. So keep that in mind as it comes up. It is in September. It is before you know it. Like, it's coming up. So, I mean, I want you to plan to be there. And I know people are beginning to hit the requirements to get into the house. So I just wanted to put that out there. Literally everybody's invited. The only thing that the qualifications for are to stay in the house. Okay? Any questions about that at all? Okay. Well, we're right at an hour. Good job staying under your time limit. So I think that's all. I am just proud and I'm honored to lead, and I cannot wait, literally cannot wait to see how all of your businesses grow between now in the new year. We're like halfway through, a little more than halfway, I guess, but your business could be a completely different thing by the time January rolls around. So that's all. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for being here. I know it's a sacrifice.